These 5 AI automations are so useful and simple that no one has an excuse not to set them up. So today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to set them up to automate routine tasks, and then you'll hate yourself for not having set them up last year. But maybe that's just me. Let's jump into it. First up, let's talk about the elephant in the room, emails. We receive thousands of them every single day. Most of them are completely useless. And a lot of us spend at least half our morning answering emails manually. In fact, by the time some of us finish our emails, it's already time for lunch. So let's start by that problem. Now the tool I'm gonna use to build most of these automations is called Make.com. Yes, they are my sponsors. Thanks so much, Make. Yes, they have a freebie for you. Check it out in the description. And yes, this is the automation platform that I use too. And with Make, you can build simple or super complex automations. You can leverage AI inside of them too, and it connects to thousands of tools, all of the ones that you already use. The way it works is that a trigger starts an automation and then it goes through a set of different modules. So for example, there might be a trigger inside of WordPress here, and then it sends that information over to ChatGPT, and then it sends that over to LinkedIn. And so the logic is pretty straightforward. If this, then that, right? So basically trigger, and the trigger triggers an action. Someone filled out a form, sent it to ChatGPT, outputted that as a result. But now my friends, let's hop in and start building. And I'll be using this tool for several automations today, but let's talk about how we're actually gonna solve the email problem. Well, my solution is basically to skim my inbox, and when I find an email I wanna actually answer, I can just forward that email to another email address, and then AI drafts an answer to that email and puts it in my drafts so I can quickly come in, adapt the answer a little bit, and send it off. And this automation alone probably saves me 1 entire hour every single day. So let's jump into Make, and I'm gonna show you how this is set up. Okay, so now I'm creating a new scenario, and as you can see here, we can see all of the apps that we can connect to each other. For this first one, we're gonna want to create a mail hook. Why? Well, because we want to be able to forward an email to this address, and we're gonna be able to do that right here by clicking on that. There you go, add, choose. Here, we're going to name this, and that's for the mail hook. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to save that, and we're gonna name this module, receive email, okay. That means that once we send an email to that mail hook, it's basically going to trigger the next thing. Okay, so the next module here that I'm gonna add is going to be ChatGPT or OpenAI. We're gonna select OpenAI there. Awesome. And we're going to go for generate. Then here you go. By the way, I won't be teaching you the whole of Make, but go and check out their free course on their website to get started, to be able to set these up for yourself. Here we can now select the model that we wanna use. Excellent, GPT-5.1. Awesome. And then here in the text content, I'm gonna write out my prompt. And I'm gonna finish setting up this module, and then we're going to connect it to the next one. Cool, I'm gonna call this one create response here. And the next step is to send that to the drafts of my Gmail. So I'm gonna go ahead and select email, craft a draft, there we go. And then I'm going to set this module up as well. Awesome, now I'm gonna copy this address to the clipboard that we find inside the first module. I'm gonna go inside of Gmail, I'm gonna forward a message directly to that email, and then it should generate the response and send it to the draft email as well. Check it out. Okay, here is where it has done. Let me make this bigger. Awesome, we have the full response, it's pretty good. And now I can go inside of my email, I could adapt it and send it out. So now I can simply wake up every morning, check out my emails, forward the ones I want to this, and I'll find them all in my draft, and it saves me a bunch of time going through and answering individual emails in between other ones. So I've pretty much done my email for the day. But let's be honest, it doesn't mean that I don't check my email every 2 minutes. It just means that I spend a good amount taking care of business early on. Now let's talk about automation number 2. You see, every single business needs one thing. It doesn't matter whether you're running a dry cleaners, whether you have an AI automation agency, or you are a landscaper. Everybody needs customers. And when it comes to finding customers, it's a real grind. But finding the right people to target and how to get in touch with them is a huge pain. So I'm gonna show you how you can find your dream customers in just one prompt. The name of this platform is called Outbound, and it allows you to basically, in plain English, describe who you're trying to find, and it builds an entire lead list for you. And then you can do things like enrich and find their emails, their phone numbers. You can do in-depth research all in just one tool. But that's enough talking. Let's hop into the tool. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we're inside Outbound here, and it's basically like a ChatGPT for sales teams. So you can basically ask it to build a lead list for you. Here, I'll just take this first example. You can also put in your website, or you could choose to say who you're looking for and then dump about 50 companies inside the chat. So I'll go with this first one. Build me a list of marketing managers at tech companies in Austin, Texas. I'm gonna put Los Angeles. I'm actually looking for sales managers at tech companies, 11 to 50 employees. There you go. And then when I click on this, it basically converts this into finding leads for me. So it's gonna go ahead and break that down. You can see the left nav right here. It starts to work. On the right hand here, we basically have the preview that's being built that's gonna show me some 25 first leads. When I see that, boom, all these leads show up. I can see Los Angeles, Downey, which is right next to LA, Newport Beach, still Los Angeles County, Irvine, perfect. So these are the kind of leads. I can see also that these people are sales managers. Underneath, I see all the information about these individuals. And then when I'm ready, I can basically either continue to say like, yeah, actually, let's just go for like this, that, the other. It's found 661 people that fit this criteria. And then here, I can just import leads. So like one page has 25 leads. Let's just import 25 to show you guys how this works. And then that's really just the first step. The next step, once it's brought in my leads here, is to say, okay, find me their emails. So basically like now I've built out this lead list. I'm inside the tables here and I brought in 25. From now on, it kind of creates the columns for me as you see here, and it's automatically just gonna run and find people's email addresses. The cool thing is that it uses like lots of email providers. So if I just like go inside the column setting here, you can see that it's using all of these amazing providers. Prospeo is like such a good quality provider, for example. And then it also verifies. So if it's checked, yes. If it's not a check, and then I can do that for as many of these people as I want as well. Run these cells. Then I can do things like research, which is pretty cool. So it's like if I want to learn anything about these individuals, I could just be like, could you do research and figure out who these companies sell to? There you go. And it just basically is going to create a full agent just with one prompt. So it's like researching the company and check out what it does. This was the most impressive to me. So basically it's doing this target market analysis is what it called it. Success. Let me go ahead and click on this one or one of the other ones that it creates. Cool, so it's created actually a bunch of different things and it's still processing here, but let's see what it actually found. If we double click on the actual search it did, it literally went out and scraped the website and found all the information. It also scraped the web to do so. And I know that because if you go inside of the top column setting here, you can see it built out this whole prompt and it also created the output schema. And now I can see like who do they sell to, who's the segment that they sell to, small and medium-sized businesses, system integrators, IT resellers. So, and then I could just say something like create a personalized message for each one of these people. Or you can also do more research, or you can filter out people that you don't want or do want. And yeah, basically, so I can say like, write me a perfect outreach message. And when I do that, it asks me what my website is, and it's gonna basically write that based on the information it gets from my website. So it's a platform that allows you to do all of the complicated research stuff all in one place, and then you can connect it to a sending platform to be able to basically do outreach to thousands of people, super personalized, instead of just doing like a one-size-fits-all email. And the other thing that you could do if you just want to be super basic about it is you just build a lead list exactly who you're looking to go after, open these up individually, and then you could just like send these people messages, right? So it's like, you can try to add them and then you can send messages to these individuals if you want to do things a bit more manually. Now, I don't know about you, but this third AI automation sure saves me a huge amount of time. Every morning I wake up and I'm completely drowning in all of the updates, all of the news. I really love to pay attention to what's happening in AI specifically, but frankly, the process of doom scrolling through all social networks tires me and it doesn't get me to the information I'm actually looking for. And that's why I created a simple automation that goes out every day and finds me all of the most important information in my industry and in the things I'm interested in, and then just gives me a digest that I can read in less than half an hour. And that's just a clean email sent to my inbox, and I can read it in 10 minutes as I'm sipping my coffee. Probably an automation that saves me an entire hour every single day, because let's face it, you start with a Twitter feed and suddenly you're watching cat videos. So let me show you how to set that up in just a couple steps. Okay, so I'm inside of Make here again, and I'm gonna create a new scenario. I'm gonna land here, and now I'm gonna search for Perplexity. Excellent, this one, perfect. Next thing I need to do is go to ChatGPT. I'm gonna ask it to create an actual system prompt for me. So I'm gonna basically type in, I'm building an automation that will aggregate news about my industry and topics, AI sales and GTM. I need a system and user prompt to use for the make.com Perplexity call. Output both as copyable snippet. So basically now it's just gonna write it out for me, and I can copy and paste these inside of the make module for Perplexity. Good stuff, this looks good. Let me just make sure it's the most up-to-date news, trends, updates. Excellent. Okay, here it actually did it. So let me just redo the prompt. Perfect, this is good. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it inside of Perplexity now, or the module inside of Make. And now I'm gonna call this Gather Latest News. Excellent. And by the way, the trigger for this module is time. So it's basically once a day at the same time in the morning. So now I'm gonna set up the user prompt and move to the next. Okay, so now I'm gonna test it. Let's see. Okay, it was successful. Let's go and check out what I did here. Excellent, and now here I can see the full breakdown of the latest news. I want this to be sent to me via email. So now we can go to the next step. And you can fine tune the prompt, of course, and test it out. And as soon as you get the result you want, then we're ready to go to the next step. So now I'm back in here and I'm going to now connect it to the next module. Plus here, I'm gonna do a search for email. Excellent. Send email, excellent. Email address, I want it to be sent to my email address. Very cool. Okay, I'm done with the email module. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the timing. So here I'm going to change the time here. I'm gonna make this go out at 9 a.m. And now we're gonna run a test. All we gotta do is run once. Very cool, okay, that worked. Now we're gonna check out and it outputted exactly what I was looking for. Awesome. And just like that, my friend, you've saved a huge amount of time, and now you don't have to go and doom scroll all of the social medias to get your info. This saves me personally a bunch of time, but also I think just a huge amount of mental sanity. Why? Well, because on Twitter, there's always someone smarter than you. On LinkedIn, there's always someone more successful than you. And on Instagram, there's always someone more beautiful than you. So it's really not the best place to hang out all the time. But that's beside the point, my friend. Let's jump into the next one. Number 4, if I had a penny for every time I heard someone tell someone else to post on social media, I'd probably be a billionaire by now. But the problem that most people face is they don't know what to talk about. Well, I actually came up with a cool solution that solves that problem, and it's connected to the last thing we talked about. That's right, my friends, when I read that little news digest that comes in every day, and I've created an automation to grab that source or that article found online and help me convert that into a high-performing LinkedIn post that then I'll be able to also reuse for things like Twitter. Now, heads up, this is a bit more of an intermediate automation, but it can be super valuable, probably saves me another half an hour a day. So how does it work? Well, first of all, you need to be able to scrape that website. So basically, we have a trigger that goes off and scans that specific website, extracts all the information from it. Then we're gonna send that to ChatGPT, who's gonna be able to convert it based on a prompt into a high-performing LinkedIn post. And then I can grab that output, adapt it a little bit if I want, and then post it to social. But that, my friend, is just theory. Let's hop into the tool. I'm gonna show you how it's built. And stick around till the end, because this last automation is really one of the best and easiest ways to actually nurture your leads and convert them into paying customers. You guessed it, we're back inside Make, and I'm actually not gonna go too in depth with this one just because it's a little bit more complex, but we're gonna start off by actually creating a module that allows us to upload manually a URL. And let me quickly build this out, and I'm gonna explain to you the modules I used and what they actually do. Okay, so that took a little bit longer than expected, but we are back, my friend. Let me explain to you how this actually works. First of all, you basically create a module that allows you to upload the URL. Then I connected this to a platform called Firecrawl. Firecrawl is basically a scraper. It allows you to go out and scrape the URL that we're sending it. The next thing I did is that I sent that information over to the brand guidelines because we want this to sound like us, have our voice. And so I created brand guidelines that I added here so that it can sound like us. The next module sends all of that to ChatGPT, where it combines both into writing out a full post. And then finally, it sends that to my email address. And now, my friends, I'm gonna test it out. Let's see if this thing works. I did test it before, so it should work just normally. Firecrawl, excellent. Now it goes over to writing the post in ChatGPT. Perfect. And finally, it's going to send it to me. Okay, I should just like wait a little bit because it's taking a little bit longer than expected for this module to actually run. I'll just sit here with you and remind you to subscribe to the channel. Just by doing that, you see, boom, it sent it out to Christian. So now we have this in our inbox. Let me check over here. Perfect, I have it. And now you can copy this, you can paste it inside of LinkedIn, and now we are ready to adapt this a little bit if you want, and then post. Quick word of warning though, for this automation, you're gonna have to learn a little bit more. Make sure to check out the advanced course inside of Make that they have too if you wanna do this kind of sophistication. Okay, so this fifth automation is probably the simplest and the most powerful one for any business. You see, the first thing you want to do when you get in touch with a customer is to give them something potentially for free, a lead magnet, right? And in exchange, they'll give you their email address. But most of the people who give you their email address are not yet ready to buy your services. In fact, probably most of them will not. But the best way to nurture these leads and to earn their trust is to basically give them a huge amount of free value. And I love to do that by setting up automated email sequences, meaning that as soon as someone gives you their email address, now every couple of days, they're gonna get a super high value email where you're either educating them, giving them more free stuff, and eventually even proposing potentially a small discount for your services. Now, this is something that you can set up once, and it happens for every new person who comes inside of your funnel. And if you consider that most sales happen through emails, this is by far the cheapest way to get sales. And the great news for you is that it's the simplest one to set up. So let me show you how you can do that. Okay, we're back inside Make, and the best thing here is that this is the easiest one. I'm gonna add fill out, which is a form filler, but you could pretty much use any one you wanted to here. Excellent, we're going to save that new form submission. So that basically means that we're gonna have the email address given to us when someone fills out a form. And that's simply going to send it to my email provider, which is Brevo, and it's gonna add it to a list. So create a contact first of all. So that's the first thing I wanna do. Okay, so we're gonna set that up. And then the last module is to add this person. Okay, that's done. And now I'm gonna create another module here, also Brevo. It's gonna be excellent, add. And then I'm going to select the list. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the field so that it adds the email. And as soon as I've done that, it creates the contact, it adds the email, and it adds that person to the list. Now let's go ahead and in Brevo, and I'm gonna show you how this actually plays out. Okay, so we're inside Brevo here. That's my email provider, but pretty much all email providers have this automations. In automations, you can create one from scratch, right? It's just a workflow. And then what you can do here is just go ahead and do it from scratch. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to create this basically. But here, what you wanna do is that when a contact is added to a list, then you want things to happen. You select that list, and as soon as that person's added to that list, in this case, I would add the list of the one that I actually found. So let's say that it was this one. Excellent. Go ahead and save it. Then what I do here is, okay, now let's do a rule, time delay. I'm gonna wait. So if it's like someone gives you their email and let's say they asked for, you promised them something immediately, you could have it wait 0 time. You could just immediately send an email. In this case, you might also say, okay, I'm gonna wait 1 day. Go ahead and save that. And then you can basically just have actions after that where it's like, let's go ahead and send this person an email after 1 day. Oops, let me try that again. There you go. Here you can create templates and add them here, and then you just keep going. You basically just like are able to add rules. And this is what a drip campaign is. It's like basically over the next 14 days, You're just adding different emails that it's sending out that have just a huge amount of value. And as soon as someone like fills out that form, it automates it so it sends that contact into a list, creates this automation that then starts sending emails to that person. And that's how you're able to create a machine where basically these first emails might be like huge value, and maybe like a couple of days or maybe a week later, you can send them like a first offer, right? So 20% off your product, or book a demo call if you have any questions about this. And you can even just go to ChatGPT and have it write out a full sequence for you based on exactly what your product is. You're gonna have to give it a lot of context. And then you can even ask it like, what are the time delays that I should put in here? But this is basically the cheapest way to get paying customers, is to give them something for free against their email address, and then nurture them with these longer sequences, add a lot of value, and then people start building trust. And then for the people who need the product that you actually have to serve, you're in a much better position to pitch it to them. So yeah, this is such a simple automation and it's incredibly powerful. So please set it up. So those are high return on investment automations you can set up today with no technical skills. But if you're trying to build a website or an app, then I highly recommend you check out this video, because we're going to teach you exactly how to do that without writing a single line of code. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now go out there and crush it. Let's go.